So I love it right as I go to open the show up, like my Windows sounds like made like a like ding, and it
Oh, the
was
updating
you could
noises.
almost given for thinking that that was planned. But as with anything that goes this, it's not. Hello everybody, welcome to an episode of Third Player Optional. I'm your host CaverJay, joined by the guy who does literally all of our editing in the background. It is Shrikuffs. What's up, brother?
I'm doing all right, except today it says I'm Soy Tortuga.
Does doesn't it?
They call me um Three
Well, see,
Tuga.
this would be kind of be a little bit of turnabout fair play because Soy did impersonate you.
That's true. That's true. The only difference is to impersonate him, I'd have to shave, but I'm not going to do that.
Not worth it.
Mm-mm. I need to hide my masculinity behind this beard. It's totally what I'm. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there we go. Case
Love
of
it.
mistaken or stolen identity, no longer a thing. Um, back. So yeah, man. So this episode is gonna be like really trailer heavy. Um,
Okay.
lots of I just kept finding more and more, and I'm like, wow, this looks good, and wow, this looks good. And what's gonna be great, especially for a lot of people who are kind of sick of mine and soy shit, and what we bring to the show, at least in one part of it, is that we're not going to talk about Overwatch League, and that
Oh
is
wow.
both a benefit to the viewers and to you. So
Yes.
you
Thank
are
you.
you are welcome.
Yeah. How
But
am I supposed to talk about a thing I don't watch? I'm sorry.
right, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, man, it's all good. So basically, uh, er, but yeah, like so, lots of stuff. I just kept finding stuff, and this is like part of it is like it's like the it's like the RTS
Okay.
version of, because there's a lot of strategy-based games that have really come up here. One that I'm very thankful that it came up is this one called Riftbreaker.
Rift Breaker.
Riftbreaker. I had talked about it one random time during the show and not since. And it made me so annoyed that I could not find it. This is an article from Game Informer. This was a PAX West highlight. So PAX West. And so
Yes.
basically,
Chill hop.
the perfect, yeah. No, it's showing the. I hate this thing, dude. So it's showing. But yeah, so with Riftbreaker, you are essentially like a scientist that was sent down to colonize a planet, and you are armed. It's kind of like a top-down, so kind of think Diablo-style gameplay in terms of like a top-down hack and slash kind of deal. You can upgrade your mech with different armament.
Okay.
Added twist, it's a base builder. So real-time base builder. And so your goal is to essentially establish your base on this, what turns out to be this very hostile planet. And, you elect resources. So it's a mix of stuff. So it's like you have to manage your time between building the base and going out and doing your thing in the mech outside the walls. But, your base defenses only take you so far. So your presence is required at certain points through the throughout the entirety of your gameplay. So like, and it's mob-based combat, which as any good top-down hack and slash is. But the base building aspect of this really intrigues me. I don't know if it intrigues you or anyone as much as it does me, just given the fact that I love base building.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I love building just in general, and I love the mix between the two, which is why I'm a fan of RTSs so much, because you got the combat and then you got the base building, and I love RTS like Warcraft or Age of Empires. Funny enough, both of which we talked about a little later. Spoilers. Um, that just build anywhere.
Hmm.
Like, but then there was games that did it like kind of like Battlefield Middle Earth, which preset bases, which it was still a fun game, but I think I was more of the I'm a Lord of the Rings fanatic to a borderline unhealthy degree.
When I was younger, one of my favorite games to play of all time was a game called Supreme Commander,
I've heard of it.
where yeah, it's an RTS where you pick one of 3 human factions in this ever-expanding universe or galaxy, I should say, and it's your faction trying to get the other 2 to come with your ideals and beliefs as you're all fighting each other. And you just teleport into the starting location, you build a base, and you just send your armies out to destroy everybody. And that's kind of what this is making me think of, but also with the mix of something called We Are Billions, which is like a zombie survival RTS.
Yeah, I really
enjoy.
I've seen little bits of that too. But yeah, so this will be one of the first of the trailers. So let me.
I'm watching it over here.
Oh, you got the stream up?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's right. Because new computer, I can show things with minimal latency now. It's a great. It's a great time to be alive. I would, however, like to get out of studio mode. This it? Yeah, there we go. So I can see just how many frames I drop when I do this.
He's like 1,000.
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see. So I'm gonna hide us. I'm gonna pause the jazz music in the background. If I can.
Damn. Classy jazz is what I was at here for, man.
Right, I know. So yeah, so here's the scientist with the mech.
Breaker Ashley reporting successful jump procedure.
And I think this is like the set character.
Roger that. Begin field-based setup.
Looking real interesting so far.
Well, yeah, one thing I really appreciate here is, you know how in like other base builders it's like it doesn't really explain how the base just pops out of nowhere. At least here it gives it an excuse.
Yeah.
Houston, I've spotted something near the LZ. It's closing in.
So there we go. So that was Riftbreaker. Teaser for it. Okay.
So I wish there was more gameplay in that trailer. In all
Right,
honesty,
that's the thing.
but
I see, like, the only thing relating to gameplay that I've seen are these. So, no idea what any of these buildings do. No idea what any of these monsters are. I know there's a lot of them in this picture, but that's it. Like, that's all we got. But yeah, so this came out. I don't think there may have been some gameplay floating around there, but I honestly don't know. Or whoops, as far as
like with me, when it comes to gameplay or for trailers, that it's I like these cinematic trailers that they do, but I
Right.
also like to
But
see
it
a little
doesn't tell
bit of
you.
gameplay.
Okay, here we go. So here's a little bit of Riftbreaker gameplay.
Hello, and
IGN. So here is.
Heading towards the base.
Perfect.
So,
Okay, let's show them they're not welcome here.
yeah, so active base building. Cool. So
Build up your walls before they can get in.
more or less, and then just go out. And I don't know if you you farm these guys out for mats and stuff. I would imagine so.
I'm going to assume that you'll get some materials, and partially they're probably in front of like a mineral deposits or things that you need to get to. Like he's building something in that place that he just cleared out.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. So yeah.
Base is under attack.
It just now it makes me
fast
wonder.
travel to the base. See, look at this, man. They're just like they'll just absolutely like obliterate the wall if you don't go back. They just built these.
But like, it also makes me wonder,
This
like,
looks like a
the,
hive of
is
some
the
sort.
only reason
Let's
why
look inside
these
to see if-
aliens menacing is because there's mobs of them, that there's numbers of them? Is there not like every once in a while a stronger unit that could take more damage?
Like
I mean,
that
it
big.
kind of looks
Well,
like there are
like I
right
was
there,
gonna say,
actually.
like that big one until it just got pasted. But yeah,
Yeah, it's
I would
still
imagine
like
this is. Look how fast that this. Look how fluid that the mech moves. Like this is. I don't know if this is. So you've got the basic hack and slash in there. The gun is an ability. You've got these other abilities. It looks like. Well, the one is like a wrench. You get a self-repair mod.
so this basically just looks like more advanced
It
Warcraft.
looks like we've cleared them out. Let's hope this will give us some time to build
Well,
up
it's
our
like
This is
it's
kinda what
more.
I'm getting.
It's like single hero, single unit Warcraft because you don't have any
Yes.
other command of anything. Like everything is automated.
It looks like
So
we've really made them mad this time. We have to build up more defenses.
so I'm really hoping that the actual acting of this is better. Good lord.
See, yeah,
Base
now
is
that
under attack.
looks like it'd be troublesome if you get waves of that stuff, but I'm not sure how often
They're
that will
still
happen.
coming. It's still happening.
The base is under attack.
They
I don't even
broke
see the
into
mech.
wall.
Oh, there we go. They came from behind. So wow.
That does look pretty interesting,
looks-
actually.
That looks like it gets punishing very quickly. That 100% looks
So
like
is
it
this
just.
the game where there's? Do we know if there's a defined story or if there's a clear start and finish, or is it just go until you can't anymore?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, this looks like from the production that I've seen. Let's see if this. Let's see if this guy.
And to do that, we build a steel factory on this.
25 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah,
Jesus.
we're not. We're just. I'm just.
So mine is one of our consumables. It's on
So
the
he's
long
actually got a
cooldown,
rocket
so
launcher.
you cannot use it very often,
This
So you
is
can-
IGN's
but
video, by the way. We're just kind of
it's
just looking at it
pretty
real quick.
effective.
Uh,
All right, we are.
you just teleport or did the thing?
But
I think the thing just cut.
it's pretty effective.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, we are in the green with all our resources, so. it
But
is
I would
time
imagine
to
that big
build
thing with the
our
glowy gates, like
cores.
one of the first things
We
you.
will consume some resources and will start using up a lot of energy, but it's worth it.
I
because
need to
this
like
will
actually
unlock
watch
our
gameplay.
path.
Like I need to watch all 25 minutes of
Getting,
this at some point,
communication
just not live on stream,
Right.
because
Well,
this looks pretty interesting and it
well-
might actually explain a little bit more.
well, I'll tell you what, buddy.
Okay.
I sent the link
Okay. Perfect.
to-
I'm gonna
to-
look at that.
to watch at your leisure. When we are, in fact, not live on. But yeah, I'm very intrigued at it. It's definitely going to be one of those. I think it's unfortunately like games like this are kind of like a here and gone kind of thing. Like
Oh,
it
definitely.
gets there, it gets to make a big splash, and then it kind of just.
It's not
you
a
know.
multiplayer game, man. How is it supposed
Here,
to?
it's
make
not a
the game
multiplayer,
fun?
dude. Stuff like this being multiplayer? Are you kidding? Why would they ever give me exactly what I want? You know?
How would you want this to be multiplayer? Would
How
you
would
want
I
it
want it?
cooperative or against each other?
Ooh. Well, the thing is, they have no player controlled units apart from the mech, right? So it'd have to be co-op. But at the same time, the co-op can be like crazy stupid hard.
That's a good point. I was just thinking like you could send out other mechs to instead of sending out mobs at each other, you have other mechs that are trying to invade.
Or
but-
freaking dude, like Dungeon Master it. Like you've got a party of mechs, right? And then you have like these insects, because they're moving like a hive mind anyway, which is probably where the story's gonna go. You kill a queen at the end of it, like calling it right now.
almost definitely.
And so you so you control the queen, and it's like go kill the invaders. And so build up your resources because you'll have your little workers that come up and do things. And yeah, I think this would be killer for that, because you obviously have to upgrade the mech before you go and face like the big things, and obviously the mech has a limit that's reached. fairly quickly. I guess, I mean, like, so you're made aware of your limit, right? Like, there's not just a bunch of the small things. Like, you got big things running around. You got bigger things running around. Either that or you got a shit ton of the little things. It's like you're going to run out of resources before you kill them all. Like, without help of your base and your fortifications and stuff, which is why you need both the base and the mech, for a good defense.
This all seems like I'm real excited to look at this now because, like, I had no idea this existed, but
Right? Yeah, I just found it by accident. This was like a couple months ago. I've been kicking myself repeatedly because it was a few weeks ago. I think either just after the move or just before it, and I tried to bring it up again because it was back prior to E3. It was just prior to E3, so it was just after the move.
okay.
But I was just like, dude, gaming news is so scarce. I'm wondering if there's any more game news about that mech game. And they're like, what mech game? And I'm like, what mech game? Frick! That's good.
Yeah, that one mech game that I talked about.
Yeah, that one mech game that I talked about literally that one time. And it was I found it completely by accident too. It could not have been more random if I tried. Not have been more random.
That's kind of how I feel sometimes when I look at like game announcements. It's like, hey, check out this video game that's been announced just now, and then you hear nothing about it for a year. And
Right,
it's like,
dude.
it's PAX now.
Like,
Look at this
oh my
PAX announcement.
god. Yeah, it's like they announce it like forever and a day away, right? And then they can re-announce it at a place like PAX or E3, and it's like, oh my god, it's a brand new game again. It's like, no, it's fucking not. I've been tracking this for 2 years. Where you been?
That's how it feels sometimes, honestly.
Dude, like real.
But I'm gonna do what I told you the last time we got really excited for a game, and it's like, don't get too excited because it might flop. Just
Dude, here's the thing. I am intrigued at this. We learned our lesson from last time. Okay? Learned our lesson. We have learned our lesson because there are some games I'm really excited for, and damn the consequences. Because I'm like, I have to be right. I have to be right at some point. Like my hype has to be justified, and when it does, it's gonna be twice as good as the game actually is, like 100%.
I mean, I'm thinking. Let's see. We had Anthem. We had Days Gone. Was that the motorcycle one?
Yeah, Days Gone's great. I love Days Gone. It gets a little
Yeah.
repetitive, but I love it. I love the game. Days Gone, 100% worth the hype for me. I actually wasn't as hyped for that, and then I got it, and I'm like, this game is freaking amazing.
No. At least you liked the J. I heard a lot of reviewers thought the repetition made it really unbearable.
Okay, go back, look at my last 5 streams, right? You know what I've streamed? I have streamed WoW Classic. I have streamed ESO. I have streamed Arc. I have literally been I am repetition and grinding personified right now.
Mm-hmm.
Literally my thing. Like, I love it. Especially, like, if the game... See, now here's the thing. I can't do, like, nothing but grinds to where you don't feel like you're working for something. Prime example, Destiny 2, prior to the new updates, because I haven't played it yet, but prior to all that, it's just like, dude, I was grinding for fucking nothing. Or, like, chickens, just scraps, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Now, apparently, it's all good again, and I'm like, no, I'm not falling. No, get away from me from your candy, stranger. I don't want... No, I learned my lesson the last time.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Come
Exactly.
on, I'm not gonna fall for that again.
Exactly. Now, eventually, there's gonna get some like stupid cheap sale, in which case I'm gonna be like, yeah, sure, why not? But until then, not gonna do it.
So, a quick question with Destiny 2. Now
What's
that
up?
they've released the newest thing, I know this wasn't like plans or
Yeah,
anything. Like,
that's fine. Listen,
how does that work? Like, is it still free
I don't
to
have a
play?
clue. I don't have a
And then-
clue. So yeah, so you buy the season pass.
Okay, it's a
So,
season pass.
yeah,
that you buy,
it's essentially a season pass. So the game itself, you one price for the game, like you get, like that's it, like unlimited playtime in the game. All the content that you've already paid for, keep. That's not like a season thing. The season pass dropped with this latest batch of DLC, I guess, that was like paid for, and Bungie had to make clear their case of if you buy this, you get that by default. So, but if you already got, so it was weird. I don't actually get it.
Okay.
But I didn't read too much into it because again, I wasn't interested because again, Bungie, I love you, but fine. There's only so much a person can take. Granted, They're away from Activision now, and I have not played Destiny 2 since all the content has come out from the Activision split. But the armory thing just sounded dumb.
I'm just honestly, I really hope for another original original thing from Bungie. Like, now that they're not tied with Activision and Activision telling them, "Hey, we're doing Destiny and we're doing it this way." Like, I wonder what other like sci-fi properties that they could come up with that would be super cool.
Well, God, here's the thing, man. Like, Destiny itself was supposed to be their big thing.
And
then
that's pretty good.
Well, but it didn't start, man. It got them on life support in Destiny 1. They had to bring it back with the Taken King and then with the Iron Lords. I'm trying to think of it. Rise of Iron. There we go.
Okay.
So which was the last one, which was a great DLC. That's the thing, man. They eventually get where they need to go, but damn it if it don't take them long to get there. And same thing is true with Destiny 2, man. It started like Destiny 2 with the story. It started great. I actually loved the story. I loved the story. I loved Gaul. The fact that it's like, oh, man, he brought the Guardians low, and then they had to fight back up for it. I actually loved that. But again, once you got that to that point, they didn't have enough content to keep you engaged.
Yeah.
They thought they replaced the engagement that you should have filled with something else with weekly quests and just stuff that just required time. It didn't require actual effort, with the exception of Nightfalls and Raid. Of course, the Raid took its time coming out. That was the thing. Like, why'd you wait so damn long on that Raid, man?
I've still never beaten the Destiny Raid, neither Destiny 1 or Destiny 2.
I beat
only because I'd never had enough friends to play.
Yeah, we beat Vault of Glass twice. That was the man, and first time took ever.
I remember
so long.
The one
I apologize. Hang on. My
No worries. Am I cutting out a lot? Is that what's happening?
All right, can you talk for me?
I can talk for you.
There
How's
we
it
go.
going?
Boy, we're gonna need to fix this, but I'm just gonna have to sit closer to the unit for a while.
Okay.
Like I had to keep my jack half plugged in. It was just
I'm sorry to hear that.
whereby I just got it. So yeah, Destiny. You were saying something.
There was one raid. I think it was what was the first raid? I guess that was released in Destiny.
That was Vault of Glass.
Yeah, I started doing Vault of Glass, and with my group, the furthest we ended up getting was the Iron Man competition portion where you had to go running through, and I don't know what vault it was anymore, I guess, or whatever, but it's like you, as part of the challenges, one person got this orb thing and they had to run through.
That was the boss.
Okay.
That was the boss. Yeah, no, because halfway through his fight, he sends somebody through a portal. They got to grab a thing. They got to bring it back through. They have to stay alive. If they die on the other side of the portal, you wipe 100%.
I don't remember there being a boss for it though beforehand. There was
oh yeah, it was a gigantic.
It was puzzles before you got to the boss. I thought, but
it was a gigantic Vex. I don't know. Maybe it was
because I remember the people outside had to fight off a bunch of little things while shooting portals to open up the pathways for them.
Yeah, no. If I'm not mistaken, that's 100% the boss fight.
Oh, okay.
That's 100%.
Well, we made it to the boss fight and we kept dying then.
Right.
We just stopped.
Yeah, it was, dude, that boss. Dude, and here's the thing. The second time we completed it, we actually had Torn with us, who was under-leveled for the raid. He had such a miserable... he claims that he enjoyed it, but I would have had such a miserable time with that, because he could kill stuff up till the final fight. Then he's like, guys. Like, yeah? My gun is literally showing no damage on the mobs. On the mobs. Never mind the boss. On the actual ads that the boss is spawning, I can't hurt him. So literally, it was his job to run around, hide, and res us as we got down. It worked. It actually freaking worked. If he was one of the ones that got sent through the portal, he grabbed the orb. That was his one job. And the rest of us, we just killed shit. Like that was his thing.
Well,
Which
me
from
and my go ahead.
was like from a communication standpoint was actually the best way we could have ever done it, because we never actually in the other like the full fire teams with everybody that could do damage, not one of us was like, I got it. It was just like whoever was there first, and then the other ones would just kind of take the hint and shoot.
Mhm. With me and my groups that I've always played online games with, we call the person who reses everybody the spawn monkey, and it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, just run over there. All right, run over here. All right, the
Yeah.
fight's happening over here, and the spawn, and you're out of range back there. You're hanging out over there, so we can do all the killing, and then like,
Yeah, 100%. And I think group XP was a thing, so I think he was getting, or no,
Oh,
he was cap. He just couldn't. His light was just low because the game is gear locked in such a severe fashion back in the day. I mean, it still was.
God,
It's
that
still.
was something I hated.
It's still. It kind of is still, but it was like worse back in.
You want to level up? Well, you got to collect gear with more light. How do you get gear with more light?
Gotta
You
do the hard-
grind and you grind.
You
and
got to do the hard shit, man. It was.
Mhm.
Dude,
Ugh.
and like I was almost thankful when Nightfalls became a thing, because it was like, dude, this is gonna have like epic gear in it, like almost guaranteed,
mhm.
and it did mostly. But it's like, good luck getting there. I do have a little bit of nostalgia, because there was a sense of awe when you were going through the game, regardless of how odd the story.
Mhm.
That like the moon. I think the moon is probably my favorite zone in Destiny 1. Just because of the creepiness of this is where the hive took over the entirety of the, and
Mhm.
you're delving into these essentially these crypt like areas facing good lord knows what.
Like, I never really got into the lore of Destiny.
I never did. Like the thing is, like there wasn't a lot to be gained from going into lore. Like there was some. You kind of get the gist of it as you're playing through the story, to which I kind of let my own kind of imagination kind of ran away with me as far as like that goes. Now so lore started becoming a little bit more of a thing once the Dark Below came out, because that was when Crota, which is the son of Oryx. So essentially, you have a hive god came down.
You killed the
and
hive god and
you
his
killed
son trying to get revenge.
you kill the hive god. Well, no, you kill the hive god, and then his dad shows up.
Oh yes.
It was, or no, so it was so Dark Below, House of Wolves, which came as free, I think.
Okay.
Then the Taken King, and then Rise of Iron. Taken King is where the game like took off with the new abilities and Flash Tree, all this other stuff, which is really really cool. Like Taken King is where like Titan's got the flaming hammer, and then Hunter's got the bow. It was pretty legit.
I was very much a warlock every time I played Destiny. Just the field clearing energy pulse bomb thing that you could throw down. That
Yeah.
it was just too good. Levitating from place to place made platforming easy for me.
Dude, I couldn't. I actually I got so used to the initial jolt of Titan leap. I couldn't be mobile with any other class as effective, because I'm just like, I got so good at kind of measuring out. It's like, I'm gonna land here, and I would make these crazy long jumps with it too. It was really cool. But so yeah, so, okay. So we've we went off track. Back to some planned topics. Another one that I am really excited for, is Empire of Sin, which is the Capone era strategy game that they're coming out with. I don't know if this page has a trailer on it. It doesn't. I'm gonna pull up a trailer real quick. Gameplay.
Do we know which? Sorry, go ahead.
What were you saying?
was supposed to say, do we know which developer is making it? Because it kind of looks like a Civ. Like
It
the
looks
same
like
engine.
Civ, right? Yeah. Let's see. Publisher developer Romero Games.
Romero Games. All right, I have to look that up real fast.
Yeah, I am too. Romero Games. They made. Hey, did you guys make? Um.
Retro Game. Romero Games. Huh. And partner with Paradox. Okay.
Yeah, it was weird. Uh. So I think Paradox. Yeah, the Paradox is the publisher, and then so this is like their big foray into it, I guess.
Yeah, like I don't know what the Sigil game is. It almost looks like Doom, but
Yeah. Let me see. Trying to find. Here's some 5-minute play. So basically, you have different establishments and holdings throughout Chicago. You've got breweries, speakeasies, all these different things. So yeah, this guy's actually playing like as Capone here.
okay.
And so it's kind of like party-based mechanics.
It almost looks like it. Like first glance, it reminds me of GTA.
Right, it's
Like
got this GTA.
the original. over
Right,
the
like
top.
like Vice City, where you can like actually buy the properties and stuff. Like
It's territory, and like, there's a lot of possibility here.
oh yeah, well, and like each you start off as one major crime lord. Like this guy's Capone, but there's these other ones, and they all have their own unique abilities.
Yeah, Capone's real good at getting the slummy, real basic level mob units in his job, And then we got this one, like Maria chick. She flirts with people and gets the really valuable people.
Well, real talk.
See. It's almost like a LA Noire as well.
It reminds me of that vibe, yeah. I was
Yeah,
kind of
it's
hoping there would
just
be some
Chicago in
like some audio dialogue, but this is oh god, no, this is a recent one. This several days ago.
Oh man, his mouth isn't even moving, and his neck is. They gotta work on those character models a little bit.
Dude, don't even get me started right now. Oh boy, that miss from like right there. That if that don't remind you of XCOM, I don't know what would.
Ow, and your character almost fucking dies.
Dude, what she got? Like a fireplace stick? Oh, you just shanked this dude. Shank that dude too.
Yeah.
So I think it's like So I think the combat is like XCOM in terms of like the turn-based type stuff. Sight lines, cover.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Well, because like look right here, like there's a, I can. So right there, so it's got it highlights all his movable space right there.
Mm-hmm. There's a name for that kind of game.
Yeah,
Rabbit versus. Hang on, because what I'm thinking of when I think of that game is Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Yeah.
Which is a let's see, turn-based tactics. No, tactical role-playing game. No, I guess so. Tactical role-playing game.
Dude, they think that guy had 1 HP left, and he just threw a piece of dynamite at him. Oh boy! Wow! God.
Brutal.
this guy said I remember seeing an interview with this guy, and he's like, "Yeah, we had a lot of fun with some of these." I was like, I can see that. So okay, so like right here, I don't know if this like shows an example of it, but you have the option of like either walking the street or like taking a car. And obviously walking the street kind of like has its dangers and stuff because you're more of a target for hits.
Yeah.
So then you're more likely to fight. Oh, here we go again. Blech.
So you have to take so you'll probably get messages and things that's like, looks like this unit is doing this thing. Travel wisely in your next area. And it's like, if you don't travel by car, then you're probably gonna get heavily ambushed.
Well, I mean, and still, yeah, like, I mean, you could still get ambushed in your car too. I'm almost certain.
Well, also true.
Almost certain that'll be. But yeah, dude, like, so another. I'm really interested in how it turns out. Especially since, so real quick, like, look at this, find.
Alcohol consumption storage market.
There we go. So, I wanted to zoom in on the map. Look at the size of the map. Like.
And you get to expand your, like, that's pretty close for trying to expand your territory, though. But it's Chicago.
Yeah, so I mean, it's to they did it to scale to a certain point, but like,
yeah,
that still looks pretty huge.
Yeah,
like if all boundaries of where those roads go can be acquired.
Mm-hmm. That does look pretty cool.
I think it's pretty.
That does look pretty cool. There's a lot of games coming out that either now or coming out soon that really start to tickle my fancy.
Dude, yeah, you talk about games coming out soon. That's a convenient segue.
All right.
Like for me, anyway.
No, it's totally worth it.
But it is this game right here, Fall. So Greedfall, I still kind of, in terms of knowing much about it, I know next to nothing about it as far as like the story. Like so you're essentially your character. Picture the colonial times.
Mm-hmm.
You're crossing over into the new world, or in this case, I guess it's somewhat discovered, but it's just it's mostly mysterious. And your home nation is ravaged by this like plague sickness, and you're like, and someone made the discovery. It's like, hey, the cure for that is here, and so you go there, and they go there in force, right? And so now they're seen as conquerors. And so this one, Ciora, I think is her name, is one of the natives, and she actually will join your party because she's always been curious about the Outlanders and stuff. But if you start, it's like Dragon Age, it's like Mass Effect. Start doing stuff that disapprove. It's more like Dragon Age in the sense of there's an approval rating, it seems like, because this is, it says in this article here from Game Informer, betrayal and romance are sewn into Greedfall's deep companion system. So definitely more of a Dragon Age Origins specifically kind of esque thing. I mean, Dragon Age 2 kind of did it, but Dragon Age Origins, it felt more constant.
Yeah, no, like even like Dragon Age is definitely the way I would compare this companion system. Especially like the only other real companion systems I can think of are Fallout, which not really comparable to this, I would think.
Like they would verbally express their disapproval of what you did in Fallout, but
that's about it.
Yeah, that's like that's
everything to say.
Yeah, but this one is like, so if you start encroaching on the natives too much, and Ciora here is in your, I think that's her name. If she's in your party, like, there's the betrayal. It's like, no, I'm gonna fight you. Versus, you'll have a loyalist to your people with you more than likely. It's like, oh, you do too much against your people, trying to be too nice to the natives. You're gonna get fought now too. So it's like,
you don't have our best interests in heart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I can see that.
Let's see what this companion trailer's got, because I actually haven't watched this yet. So
today's the big day, isn't it?
Ooh, partial nudity. Oh boy.
Island everyone's talking about.
It is said our people lived peacefully until the men appeared from the sea, intent on making our lands their own.
In Greedfall, the world and your story are ever changing based on the choices you make. You'll enter the island of Tyr Freddy,
Curious what this
not
heck,
to act
what's
as an
on this guy's
assassin or
face.
soldier. First and foremost,
That's
you
probably
are a
the
diplomat,
plague
with
thing.
all the social powers and status that come with it. You're free to explore every faction's settlement and deal with the powers that govern each. To overcome the challenges ahead, you'll need to befriend members of every faction, some of whom will journey, fight, and talk alongside you.
Your Majesty, I shall present you to the governor. Come.
Princess, Majesty, you are most confusing, but thank you for your help.
Compose your party of 3 from anyone who's joined you so far. But choose carefully. Each companion brings something different to combat. Kurt, your loyal master of arms and mercenary of the Coin Guard Guild, makes for a great frontline warrior. Meanwhile, Afra, a talented scientist from the Bridge Alliance, specializes in ranged weaponry, such as rifles and throwable explosive files. Regardless of who you choose, be sure to regularly switch out and upgrade your companion's equipment and weapons, or you may find yourself overwhelmed in battle.
God, I'm so excited. Look at, I'm so
During
excited for
dialogues
this.
and diplomacy,
Oh, wow.
your party members will chime in and react depending on your choices and what's being said.
My son, it is clear this woman has no intention of helping us.
I ask you to forgive these foreigners. They do not know our customs.
For example, Siora is a
Yora.
tier-friendly native, fiercely protective of her people's rights. Sides strongly with someone antagonistic to the natives while in her presence, and an angry interruption may force your hand into bloodshed.
Don't tell me that you are going to humor this crazed assassin.
Be sure to pay close attention to your party members' needs. Each has their own story and unique personal quests. Ignoring them for too long may even cause them to leave the party. Petrus is a missionary of Teleme with a remarkable way with words and an outwardly fatherly nature that masks deep-rooted ambitions. Vasco, a captain of the Seafaring Naughts, is one of the more secretive, closed members of your party. Spend time with the captain and complete his personal questline, and he'll inevitably open up. Develop close friendships with all of your companions, and some may even lead to romance. Never forget, relationships in
I love it how they
can
went
be
from the
as
love scene to
uncertain as
like,
the seas that
this
ravage
person's gonna
Tearful
kill somebody.
shores.
Constantine, I'm here. Pull yourself together.
Nothing said or unsaid can be taken for granted. Ultimately, the choices you make will shape the future of the island
We didn't want this fight.
and the lives of all upon it.
You are too blind, too renegade to understand.
Wow.
Really cool.
That
Now I
looks-
need to get a fucking Xbox. What the
Yes.
hell?
No, it's PS4 too. It dude, it
Okay.
better. No, it better. Oh, we're checking that right now. We're checking that right now.
Because I saw
Platforms.
Xbox.
Yeah, that that was also PlayStation 4. We're okay. PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox. We're okay. We're okay. We do not have to venture over to the dark side. Not yet, anyway.
I mean, hey, I came from the Xbox side.
Yeah, I
don't
did
wanna have to
too.
go back.
Yeah, that's the thing. I did too. I get it. Which was funny because my cousin, like the opposite, had PS3 throughout its entirety, and then got an Xbox One. I'm like, how the frick do you even do that? How? How
That's
is that?
weird.
How is that even possible?
With me, it was I started with Nintendo. I switched to Xbox, and I was like the only Xbox friend I had, like only friend of my group that had an Xbox. And then eventually, over time, I was like, all right, fine, I'll get a PlayStation to play with you guys.
All right.
And then-
So now,
Yeah.
this is actually the last RTSE kind of thing that I wanted to talk about. I'm very excited for it. I'm a little annoyed at it because I don't know the actual release date of it, but I've discovered some really fun details about it. Warcraft 3 Reforged. I actually haven't talked about it on stream yet.
Warcraft 3.
So did you ever play Warcraft 3?
I did not actually.
You did not, dude. Okay, so Warcraft 3. So you know World of Warcraft.
Of course.
So Warcraft 3 were the events that led up to the beginning of vanilla WoW.
Okay.
So you had the Horde and the Alliance, which the original Horde really only consisted of the Orcs, the Trolls, and the Tauren, right? Whereas the Alliance, the main Alliance, see throughout the Warcraft 3 story, was the humans, the dwarves, and some of the High Elves. And you kind of get to see the background of all the mains. So like Arthas, so otherwise known as
becomes the Lich King.
Right. You get to see him as a paladin, and then his turn into what made him a Death Knight, and then ultimately what made him the Lich King.
Okay.
Because one of the things that I found out today and got super thrilled about was, where is it? Was, here we go, was Reign of Chaos is the original game. Frozen Throne was the expansion. So 2 different games, right? The Warcraft 3 Reforged has them both. All remastered graphics, like all of it. And I am so excited.
I mean, I'll hit you with I'm iffy only because this sounds like another remaster of a property we already have, which,
Oh, no,
don't get me
100%.
wrong, sometimes it's cool, but...
Well, 100%, but the thing is, the changes are so drastic in terms of... It's... The thing is, the fact of the matter is I will still go back and play Reign of Chaos. I will still go back and play Frozen Throne. As it stands right now. I will go back and play it. Now that I'm going to get a much prettier, a lot less pixely version to look at, like all bets are off at this point. Like, let me see, where is the because there was a trailer that shows the difference. I'm just gonna play this one. That's the culling, so that's not that one. I was gonna play this quick. So it's, you know, the graphics right now, yeah, you'd expect this kind of graphic. It might not show it. No, yeah, it will. It'll show some comparisons. I remember this.
I mean, the only reason why
See, look at this. So before, after. Like, such a difference. It's so fun. Then you got that, and now that guy.
Was that Uther? No.
Yeah, Uther, and then Mal'Ganis.
So, like, the only reason why I'm not super excited about this is, one, I never played the original Warcraft.
Oh, dude.
And
a big
like
bias for me.
Yeah, like, I haven't done any of the Warcrafts 1, 2, or 3. And, like, I even the other day I sent out a tweet that I was like, man, I kind of wish World of Warcraft Classic wasn't so popular, because that just shows to everybody that we prefer the older stuff over the newer stuff, and that's not true. I want new things. And
So the problem is, so the reason why Classic is so popular right now, and by the way, the curiosity, which a lot of it is what that was, the curiosity has died down, because there's a lot of these people that are like, you know what, I'm sick of hearing these Classic fanatics talking about how good Classic WoW was, and how great it was, and how much Blizzard has ruined the game, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to see what they're talking about. That is what, at minimum, 45%, if not 50%, really, if not more, have flocked to the classic servers. That and they're following, oh, I want to play with my favorite streamer on the server, thinking that I'm going to get to play with them and not 23,000 other people have the same damn idea. That's after the realm's already full. So it's like, come on, you know? But the big appeal of classic to me, and to a lot of people who are sticking with it, is there's a certain sense of reward that comes with leveling a character in classic, because it doesn't just hand it to you, man. Like there's no dungeon queues, there's no auto finders, group, like none of that. Absolutely none of that. Leveling a character is so much more dangerous to do because the respawn points are actually a lot farther apart. The mobs are a lot tougher. Like it's a grind. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's what it is. This is where it kind of. I wish they didn't do so heavy on this, but it is a grind. Like some kill objectives are a little ridiculous, but just the feeling of wow, I actually beat something is a lot more prevalent throughout classic as opposed to retail now, because retail, people only focus on one of two things. They only care about two things: PvP and game. That's it. PvP and game. Like all the other stuff is filler. Get to level 15, you power grind to level 15, so you unlock dungeon queues. It might even be level 10 now, I can't remember. And then you just start dungeon queue, dungeon queue, dungeon queue, dungeon queue, dungeon queue, dungeon queue. While you're questing, that's how you level your alts. And then you go out. Like, which is why I was really glad starting in Wrath of Lich King, a lot of the quests were really story based. Like to me, I really personally felt like I missed out on stuff if I didn't do the zone quests.
Okay.
And then in Legion, is the first time that they did something really, really smart. The zone scaled with you. Because you actually had to do a lot of the zone quests in Legion in order to even progress, have access to in-game content. For it to make any kind of sense.
So, just random question after that then. Would it be like you are starting to fight this like field mob and then somebody else sees the exact same mob and it's a lower level for them because it's...
So it's weird. I actually don't know how the scaling works, but essentially you can be in a party with somebody, and it's almost like this equalizing thing that kind of happens in the background. Like I don't know, because like you still feel as powerful as you should be. The challenge is still there, like it kind of should be. I don't know. It's really smartly done. It's similar. Elder Scrolls Online does the same thing. Like there's no like set levels for mobs or anything. There are level requirements to get into certain events and stuff, but like in terms of like this enemy is level such and such. No, there are types of enemies. So you have regular, you have elite, you have world boss level, with varying difficulties. Because like with some characters, like take the world bosses for example. The zone bosses is what they're called. Overland, they're just respawn randomly, or not randomly, but like they're just there. Some overland bosses I can solo just about. Others, I'm like, I'm not doing this with any less than 5 people here. So it just depends. But again, there's no set level for them. So I will say there's a set difficulty to get to a certain point. Then you're kind of like, okay. But beyond that,
I mean, that does look really interesting. One thing, like I play a lot of Hearthstone, and that's really my only connection to the world that is Warcraft. And I personally like learning a little bit more of the lore when it comes to things in Warcraft. Like I kind of wish I learned more. So this could be a good excuse to learn more about Warcraft and then maybe actually getting into the game.
It would see, and that's what's nice about it is like the story's still going to be there. It's still the same story. It's going to be retold in a different way, but like the same story is still going to be there, and it's just going to look a hell of a lot cooler. Like prime example, let me see if I can find. Pull up some here. And oh nope.
They get to see our polygons
Yeah,
compared
for real,
to our
dude.
actual.
So here we go. So here we have. Okay, he doesn't look. They don't look this bad in the game, but like, so here's a ghoul, right? So here's a ghoul from Warcraft 3.
You can
And
tell that looks like a ghoul.
yeah,
Yeah, totally.
this is what his character portrait looks like when you control him. So and now this guy in the front here, that's a ghoul in Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Okay.
Big guy with the stitches, that's called an abomination. This guy right here.
In Hearthstone, when Abomination dies, it deals 2 damage to all minions. So when Abomination, does he die in the game? Does he like leave a field of damage or like?
So abominations have a ability that you can upgrade them with. Essentially, it's called like Plague Cloud or something. And so long as they're next to an enemy, they're constantly taking damage from plague.
Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, so this thing is essentially it's a necromantic conjuration of, and it's essentially it's produced from a building called the slaughterhouse. So all the extra corpses and parts essentially band together to make this thing. And it's just pretty. Then you got the that is a necromancer right here, guy with the horn.
It almost looks like the guy who turns into Lixion, the demon.
Illidan?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no, he's way different. So look at that. You know, you got the undefined robes. You know, yeah, you still got the horns. That's how you can kind of tell him.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just see that.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, right. I mean, you know, it just shows, you know, the game just shows its age, but it also shows, really, honestly, just how good the story. Because you know, I don't play multiplayer on it hardly. I play through for the campaigns. Like each of the races, which in Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos, there's the humans, which for controllable units you have humans, or dwarves, high elves. So all in the human alliance, right? All in the human campaign. You just got the different unit. Campaign for the humans, campaign for the undead, campaign for orcs, campaign for night elves. In that order, coincidentally. And then in Frozen Throne, have high elves, which are called the Blood Elves, which shows their start in the Warcraft lore, which is why Blood Elves are a thing in World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
First, you have a Night Elf campaign, which kind of tells the story of a particular Night Elf that you introduce, called Maev's Shadow Song, which you have Maev, then you have Blood Elves, and then you see the Undead campaign, which you see, yeah, she's a warden. So
didn't Maev also try to kill Tyrion's love, Tyrande?
So she left her to die in the interest of pursuing Illidan. She didn't want Illidan to get away. She was charged with keeping Illidan imprisoned, and then Tyrande actually broke him out in the events of Warcraft 3. And then Illidan consumed an artifact called the Skull of Gul'dan, which is why he looks like a demon now. And Maiev is like, no, die or go back and change or whatever. I'm also way too much of a nerd into this, as you can tell.
I mean, that's real cool. I like I said, I know just base levels of Warcraft lore, so I like that you know more.
Oh
that's
yeah,
real cool to me.
I know probably a lot too much. But and so the Undead campaign in Frozen Throne is really neat because it actually follows kind of two different story arcs. It follows Arthas on his journey back to Iceground to actually become the Lich King, or rather to embody the Lich King. And it also tells the story of the formation of the Forsaken, which is where Sylvanas comes into play, like Sylvanas the Banshee. Because Sylvanas also used to be a High Elf Ranger, which you see in Reign of Chaos. You actually see her before she's a Banshee.
Okay.
And so you see the establishment of the Scourge in Northrend, and you see the formation of the Forsaken, now led by Sylvanas. So, which is really cool. And then Rexar comes into play here is actually a side campaign in Frozen Throne, to which it's kind of more like a controlling the single hero thing, which is really neat. It talks about how after the events of Warcraft 3, how Thrall is building a nation for the orcs and the trolls in the land of Durotar, which is in Kalimdor. Like that's kind of their swath of land that they claimed.
Okay. I always thought that Thrall left the trolls because he was upset with the way they were treating things and like nature and all that.
No, oh yeah,
garbage.
no. So after Cataclysm, so he left the Horde during the events of Cataclysm, left Garrosh left Garrosh Hellscream in charge, which ended up being a mistake. But the Cataclysm was literally tearing the world apart. So him and the shamans of the Earthen Ring and the Cenarian Enclave, they had to essentially try to keep the world from literally falling apart because Deathwing screwed it up. And so then he decided to not lead the Horde anymore because he already messed up leaving Garrosh in charge. And so then he appointed Vol'jin, which was the head of the Darkspear tribe at the time, the Trolls. And then Vol'jin dies in the events of Legion, which now
and
puts
that makes Zol'jin, right?
Vol'jin.
The Z? Okay.
No, Vol'jin. So, yep, Vol'jin dies in the events of Legion, which firmly puts Sylvanas in charge of the Horde now in present day WoW.
Yes.
Because Vol'jin actually appointed her as a successor, which is interesting because in Legion she's like, she's kind of misunderstood in Legion, and now here in Battle for Azeroth she's just kind of like, so we don't really know what's going on there. At least I don't. I'm kind of a little out of touch with it.
I was about to say, I heard they did Sylvanas a little dirty with how they changed her character in the later years, but
well, they kind of did, man, because like Legion was going to be a really kind of telling moment, and now it's just kind of like, I'm thinking they're going to play it off like she's been controlled by, because there's a death god in Battle for Azeroth and called Bwonsamdi, the troll's death god, and I don't know if he's been like subtly influencing things or what. I'm thinking that's how they're going to play that off.
I mean, I know in Hearthstone, Bwonsamdi like summons all of your weaker minions. So like, I feel like maybe that has something to do with it. It just takes over the weaker mind than the feeble.
That's the thing too. Sylvanas is an idiot though, is the problem, and so like I don't know like where they're going with it, but yeah, they're not. A lot of Horde players weren't happy. They were cool with Sylvanas taking charge, and there was some cool dialogue with it, but yeah, I don't know.
So, random question, just off topic completely.
What's up?
What are you alliance? What Horde or Alliance?
I mained Alliance for years. I'm rolling Horde and Classic WoW right now because my buddies roll Horde, and I'm just alright, whatever. Never done that. So I've done a lot of things I've never done before. I never rolled Horde. I never played Undead, and I've never played a Warlock. So all sorts of new. All sorts of new.
The last time I saw you playing, weren't you playing a Night Elf?
I was, because the server wasn't thousands of people long, and I got in and I wanted to play.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm not going to main this guy, but I want to make a Night Elf Hunter just cuz. And I got him to level 10 in one stream, so. Which is actually a feat. In class.
I was about to say, I heard there's like community competitions going around where they're trying to see who can get to level 60 first.
The guy already won. It took him like 3.5 or 4 days. And now he's just roaming around the high level zones uncontested, farming gold for his epic mount now.
He's just like, yes, I will be the richest man in all of Warcraft.
Right now he is. He literally has like he probably has some competition now. That's assuming how active his realm is, how like diligent his realm has been leveling alongside him. But it's like the dude has no competition right now, so far as I know. Like, he's got very little competition.
I remember.
Then these other streamers that are good at games, are like Shroud's like level 48. I think Tim and Lupo and them are like level 30 something right now. I'm like, halfway. I think Asmongold, like the guy known for streaming WoW, at least to me these days. I don't know what else that guy streamed apart from WoW. I don't think he's 60 yet. He might be in the 40s. Like I haven't watched any. Yeah, and it's just nuts that this Joker just literally just shatters all the records. Does it in less than a week. I don't know what the original speed leveling record was for a character in Classic. It's like, I think I read somewhere like he beat it by a healthy margin. The guy 100% think he beat it by a healthy margin.
I'm just like, I have no idea, honestly. Like, I just don't know Minecraft stuff, my man. I just don't know. Or Worldcraft stuff.
It's crazy. It'll be fun too, though, because there's all sorts of like multiplayer in this game is actually a lot of fun because it's an RTS that really don't take years to play.
Mhm.
So you can just build a game and just go. You can do custom games, custom rules, stuff. So
We need to get thermonuclear war in.
that still took a while though, and like that was still like that stream took way longer than intended.
And we didn't even get to see most of it because it was frozen on our
Oh
side.
my god, I know. I'm still so mad at that. Like, fun fact, Streamlabs has said I haven't dropped a single frame the entire stream.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
such a good thing to see.
Oh my god. Oh my god, right? It was nuts, dude. But it was actually insane. There's some other stuff to talk about. Not really like a whole lot of big stuff. I guess this is the last strategy I'm talking about, and that is Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. Release date to be this November 14th. Really honest, they're modernizing the AI. So like the AI games that you put yourself in are going to be a lot more unpredictable now. And definitely going to take a lot more strategy, I think. And the rest, this picture just kind of tells the story of the rest of the change in terms of UI and UI and just look. Because the game looks just right here.
That's a pretty good looking shot. Like,
right, and then got this one. So this is Saracen gameplay right here, 100%. Either that or Mongols. Down here, you got the Aztecs.
Ooh, I like that one, the Aztecs. I mean, either that one or the first one are my two favorites.
Right, but look at the water in this shot here. Like just by compare, because we know what this game used to look like, and now it don't. And this is gonna. They're hoping this is gonna tide people over until Age of Empires 4 comes out. Which is funny enough. You talk about games that are announced years in advance and then never release. I watched a trailer for that before its stream started, thinking, oh wait, this might be a new trailer. No, it's the same damn trailer that they showed in 2017. They showed the trailer in 2017.
And they just showed it again 2 years later?
No, I don't think they did. Like, it's just like... It's like there's no update. I have not found gameplay. I have not found a single trace of gameplay after 2 years. Like, what the frig? That's a little... That's a little nuts.
That's a little nuts. But if it makes you feel better, I'm just looking up random things now, video game related.
Yeah.
Like, you can now play as Dave Bautista.
I was gonna bring that up. I actually had that bookmark. I'm just like, am I gonna talk about this? This is kind of dumb.
It's pretty. Like,
Dave
I made
Bautista,
a point with
the animal, is gonna be a playable character, and he's just gonna be Dave. He's just gonna be Bautista. Like you play him in multiplayer and horde mode. Like that's it. Like that's his. Like did he just go up to
Go ahead.
Like did he just go up to Microsoft and be like, yo, can you do me a solid?
Just put me in this game. I'll say all of my catchphrases and everything. Just
hang on.
Put me in. Put me in, coach.
See what this article says. Dave. Blah, blah, blah. Oh. So I guess the whole big thing is like Batista is looking to like there's a Gears movie in the works, and he's looking to star in it. So I guess he's potentially for the movie gonna be. I think it's Marcus Phoenix. Like I think he's gonna be Phoenix. Yeah. He's looking to try to be Marcus. And so.
Okay. I mean, the first thing I'm going to say, it's Dave Batista, but still, that armor just doesn't quite look right on him. Like,
yeah, no, man,
not ripped enough to be a Gears.
Well, the thing is, like, he's wearing. I actually, and in my opinion, I actually think, if he was in the shorter sleeve armor, like, now I actually think it would be because I want to see the tattoos. I want to see the tattoos coming down. But now they got him in freaking full sleeve, Gears armor, which again is reminiscent of Marcus Phoenix's kind of look. But
still.
Yeah, they're not. I don't think it's. I think it's cool. I just because literally it's a bunch of people sat in a room and went, why not? That's honestly one of my favorite things about it. Like it's just a bunch of people who make this their living had the power to go, sure.
Yeah, we can put.
Like why not? Why not? Because we can. I'm really hoping he has his own voice lines. I'm hoping, like not just sounds. Like I want him to get mouthy.
Mm-hmm. Like, absolutely, just says some absolutely outrageous stuff.
Absolutely. It's
That's
gonna
great.
It'd be phenomenal. See, that's why we would need to get an Xbox.
Play Gears 5. To play
Gears 5, yeah, just to play Batista. Only Batista.
Mm-hmm. Become a Batista main, even though his gameplay is exactly the same as everyone else's.
Right, yeah. They did miss a trick with that in Gears 3 multiplayer when you could play as Cole and like all these other guys, or really just at any point. Because Cole's a huge dude. Like he should totally be able to like run like super fast or with like the big like boomer guns or something. But whatever. That's neither here nor there now. But
anything else I see is all just talking about Cyberpunk 2077.
Dude, I can't look at that because I watched the trailers the other day. I could talk about it, but I feel it's been a crutch in my content for like the past month.
You're
and
just
so
constantly talking about it.
Yeah, dude, because it's like what else is there to talk about for one, and two, it's there, so it's like why not? But then so tonight wasn't a problem because I started finding all the strategy game content, and I'm like, this is great. This is like I've never talked about this stuff on the show before, at least not to this extent.
Yeah,
so,
which is perfect. That's actually stuff I love talking about.
Right? Yeah, it worked out. It worked out perfectly.
It was a match made in heaven.
It was. It was. Hey, anyway, at least I mean.
Everything's gonna be a good. Sorry, I just noticed a message from Dev earlier. So, like, man. So we got good games coming out soon. We've got RTS stuff. We've got.
Yep. Oh,
is there anything else that you have planned that we should discuss here?
Nothing I got planned. That's really just about it. Some side news that I'm a little depressed to bring up the article about. Yeah, lead Dragon Age 4 producer left BioWare.
So that could be mixed news.
Hang on, Dragon Age. Yes, lead producer of.
Okay.
Oh no, wait, hang on. Dragon Age 4, whatever it ends up being called, currently developed by Ben Irving, lead producer on Anthem, announced that he was leaving the developer earlier this week. Now Dragon Age lead producer Fernando. Oh no. So 2 lead producers are leaving. Are leaving BioWare.
They can't keep up with BioWare anymore, I guess.
Dude, they can't. BioWare can keep up with themselves. BioWare brought this on themselves. Of course, again, who knows why, there's a story. Like, I haven't read into it. Like, let's see.
I was about to say, this all just sounds like reminiscent of the whole BioWare magic argument where we've gone through crunch in the past and games always worked in the end. That's just BioWare magic.
Well, so here's a quote. This is an article from Push. Just gonna read this whole bit here. Dragon Age 4, whatever it ends up being called, is currently in development at BioWare. The game was put on hold as the developer wrestled with Anthem, but now, as far as we know, it's the studio's primary project. That said, we don't know much about it yet, and it'll likely be a while until we get any concrete details. Supposedly, the next Dragon Age have been pushed and pulled in multiple directions already, and to be frank, it's difficult to place a lot of faith in BioWare given its most recent output. But it's easy to be cynical when senior employees are leaving in quick succession. Ben Irving, lead producer on Anthem, announced that he was leaving the developer earlier this week, and now Dragon Age lead producer Fernando Mello has also confirmed his departure. Mello's been at the company for 12 years. So, it sounds like a lot of these articles are kind of going with kind of my thought of, yeah, things aren't looking good. And then here's this other article, also from Push. What's the date? April 9th, 2019. So, while back. So things could have changed from this point, but there was an article that said Dragon Age 4 is still very early in development, and the Anthem reception could have had a big impact on it. Which, yeah, because you had to take all your developers. This would make sense because you would have had to. So here's how I'm imagining the mindset went. Right, they release Anthem, which I don't like. When exactly was Anthem? February 22nd, 2019. Okay, so they release it back in February. It's a shit show. So I would imagine starting February 30th, if not March 1st, you were going to take all these developers that were on main development in Anthem, which they would have been off this already because, actual store production would have probably put them back, a month, several weeks, something like that. Like, you were done. Like, finished project, got polished up, and was done. So these guys were probably assigned to Dragon Age at that point. And again, this is all speculation on my part. Like, I don't know squat.
Yeah.
But all assigned to Dragon Age development. And then, by March 1st, probably, they're like, company-wide memo, hey, these, and these development teams report back to Anthem recovery, basically. Because they had to work overtime to get all these bugs fixed and like all this other stuff, and it was still just a mess. Which I could play Anthem on my new computer now. Couldn't play it on my old one.
So now you can see how much of a mess it
I
actually
honestly am going to. I actually will install the game that I paid for just to see the kind of dumpster fire it still is. Because I have to know. I have to know.
Like, that was like your game of the year that you were most excited for last year.
And but luckily, I had God of War, who actually won Game of the Year, to keep me happy. Kratos did not let me down.
There's a lot of good exclusives that came out on the PS4.
Yep. And Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Kratos.
There's Kratos and his PS4. There was the
Red Dead, which is not an exclusive, but I have a PS4, so it counts for me. Phenomenal game. That's the thing.
What's the future animals and prehistoric people? Not Horizon.
Horizon. Yeah, no, Horizon. Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, that was like a couple years ago.
Well, still, PS4, man, it's just being the best.
PlayStation 4, 100% is carrying hardcore.
So,
and of course we got Spyro just to rub it in, but I think it's on Xbox too now. But
so I do have one random question, I guess.
What's up?
I've genuinely heard that PS4 is the console of this generation, is the winner of the console wars this generation.
I believe so, yeah.
Yes. Would you consider the Switch part of this generation, or would you say it's next generation console?
So here's the thing. The Switch has been around long enough that the PS4 and the Xbox One has. I would consider it part of this generation. It may have been late to the party, but it's made its big enough impact. I still think PS4 has come out healthily ahead. That being said, the Switch has made its presence felt, and for this next generation, it's a strong contender. Still keeping its presence felt, however, that belt's only go to Xbox or PS4 100% just for the content that's out. Like, take The Witcher 3 for example. Witcher 3 was ported onto the Switch and apparently, from what I've kind of seen, had to make compromises. No idea what that means, but some things had to be changed about it. Not a clue really what that means, but it's like, so that's the thing. This is going to sound, I don't think it's going to be giving Switch their due, but with a lot of these games, they're getting leftovers.
Okay, yeah.
They're not getting some of these ports until months after the game's release, man. And of course, that's theirs on release is, of course, the classic, the Mario, the Legend of Zelda, which is doing great on its own, by the way. But, I definitely, I do not feel sorry for the Switch in any form or fashion, nor do I think they deserve sympathy. They deserve recognition. They do not deserve sympathy or, they're in a, I don't know. I've heard these arguments before to where it's like, I don't think people give Switch the chance. I go, no, they give it the chance. Are you seeing it? Switch has joined the big boy consoles in every way, including having a major technical issue that Nintendo was fixing problems for free for. So they've
Was that the drift that they were fixing?
The Joy-Con issue, yeah. It was crazy.
Drift.
Like, are you kidding me? So I was like, cool. What's funny is like Switch was heavy on the the front of the mind of maybe, but no more big money purchases for me for a while.
Yeah, same here.
I'm not even going to town, which sucks. Couldn't even go.
That one's still up in the air for me. Like, I haven't bought my ticket yet, but I can do what I did last year, which is just buy my ticket 3 weeks before the event and still show up just in time.
Dude, I can't believe there was even tickets available 3 weeks. And if I'm being real,
It was perfect. I got my 3-day pass, no problem.
I could not believe you pulled that off.
It was awesome.
But with that being said, I got nothing left on my docket. How about you?
Not really anything else here. Like, this is video game news, and the only other game that I have news about is Magic the Gathering, and that's not video games. So.
Well, I guess that's going to be a wrap for the night. Thank you guys, for everybody who hung around, stopped in, lurked, whatever. Tune in to this channel tomorrow evening for Hardcore Game Night, which Soy's defending his title. Does Soy got the belt now? Who's got the belt? I think it's Soy.
Soy right now is the current reigning champion with 2-3 weeks, I think, technically in a row. 2 weeks, definitely. I don't know. The third week is counted.
Third week's not counted. No.
Yeah.
If the show didn't happen, like the counter's on pause. The counter's on pause if the week didn't hapen. So 2 weeks.
Soy's still the champion right now.
2 weeks reigning champion. Buy rounds don't count. So yeah, so definitely tune in for that. And then of course next day after is the Har Community Podcast. And then we go through the weekend. We start the week over again on Monday with Critic Casual with your host, this guy, joining me tonight, talking about all the movie ever want. Which what's next week's pair?
Next week is actually going to be It 1 and It 2, the
new
releases.
Oh boy!
Which we're still working on it. We might have a guest that week.
What a double feature!
Yeah, right.
Very interesting. Curious. All right. Spoilers. Well, guys, thank you so much. We will see you next time.
Bye.